Hello. Have you ever thought about cactuses and how they might teach us a few things in our own lives? Well, I just had an epiphany this week about the saguaro. So I'm going to give you 5 reasons why the saguaro can teach us a little bit about our mindset and how to think like a cactus. The first thing I want to talk about is the little cactus that grows into a mighty tree starts out very small and very slow. Do you know that a 10-year-old saguaro is smaller than my thumb? It pokes out of the ground and it'll only grow an inch to an inch and a half in the first 10 years. Now I'm talking 10 years. That's a long time to get a start. So the saguaro does not compare itself to the mighty trees around it. It just simply does its thing. It sends down its taproot, and it also sends out its tributary roots, which go out in all directions just for quite a distance. And those tributary roots gather water from the rains and all the things that it makes it possible for that saguaro to live through the decades. During those first 10 years, there's not much going on that's visible. And like our lives, in our very beginning years, there's a lot of growth that doesn't seem like it really is going to matter to our adult selves. But in the next 40 years, then there's an upshoot. It's important to honor those years because they're going to give us the foundation. And we don't need to compare ourselves to how fast something else is growing, or how quickly other people are developing things that we wish we could do. But you know what's really incredible? It takes a saguaro 50 years before it can get arms. Before that, 50 years is spent just learning to stand. That's amazing. And aren't we like that? Are you older than 50? Have you learned to stand? So the first thing is slow growth. Slow growth is what makes our foundation. And then it's the spreading of arms. And that doesn't happen until they're 50 years old. And arms, well, arms make all the difference. So with the mindset of a saguaro, these years after 50, they mark the beginning of our most expansive life. They are our most expressive years. And guess what? They're happening right now. My third epiphany with the saguaro is that the saguaro survives droughts and hardships, and they're covered in scars by the time they're 50 years old and above. But they live to be in the hundreds. 150-year-old saguaro, 200 years. Some of them are incredibly old. But from their very earliest beginnings, they learn how to conserve water. They bring it into themselves. They bring in the elements that keep them alive. They're known as being plants with vital energy and vitality, and most of all, resilience. They survive the scorching heat of the summer. And I can attest to that. I was just down there and it was 118 degrees, which is why I didn't film this outside down there near a saguaro, although I did get pictures. Well, you too, you women and men older than 50, you've survived your droughts. You've learned to bring in those things that are vital to your life's force and that give you energy. And some of us might have forgotten those things, or we've put them on the back burner until we hardly recognize them anymore. But now is the time for us to rediscover the wonderful things that are about to become ours in this saguaro time of life. And that's learning to enjoy a lot of the things that we have set aside for so many years. while we're taking care of other people. And that brings us to the fourth thing. The fourth thing about a saguaro mindset is that it doesn't hide its scars. It actually shows them off because they're signs of survival. They're proof that we survived. And so sometimes we like to make ourselves appear younger, and we want that spark of youth, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we can be like a saguaro, and even if we have wrinkles and scars, like my friend Gus here, who has lots of rust on him, these are signs that we have endured, that we've survived. And so accepting ourselves for the person that we are inside and out is an important part of the saguaro mindset. So a saguaro is really something. It can teach us a lot. And this epiphany came to me when I was thinking a little bit about the plant, is that it becomes a habitat. It it opens its arms to an incredible variety and hosts many, many, many animals that ensure their survival. It is the home for the birds. It is the home for all kinds of desert creatures that could not survive without that place to live and it doesn't stop the plant from growing. It still takes care of itself, but it is an entire habitat for other people, other creatures. In our case, it would be other people and maybe other creatures. So the saguaro cactus mirrors how we are with our families and our communities and how we nurture them. Isn't that incredible? I just think that's wonderful. So how do you think like a cactus? Well, you grow slow, you store what matters, your scars are your strength, and you become a habitat. And here's a bonus one. You learn to stand tall, not in spite of your age, but because of it. So until next week, don't forget, think like a cactus. Just saying.
I neglected to ask my most important favor of you. Please hit the like button. I would really appreciate it. And if you would please subscribe. And I'd love to hear your comments to tell me what you'd like to hear about. What kind of topics interest you in this stage of your life? I love to hear your comments and your stories. So please comment. And if there's somebody out there that might benefit from this video, please share. And again, until next week, signing off.